Hello and welcome back to Chocolate Tomatoes.
Oh,
I'm Ashley and we have a special guest in the building. What's up, cousin Kim? Woo! We have cousin Kim filling in for Corey.
yeah, everybody.
How are you doing today? Thank you so much for filling in.
Thank you, first of all, for having me. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff to everyone. And I am doing great. Really, really in the holiday spirit, ready to get all the festivities going.
Absolutely. Look, we are already being festive over here with our drinks. What you drinking on? Let's start with that.
What I call in my little, I don't know if y'all can see in my little Merry Christmas cup. I'm drinking a Christmas wreath. That's what I name.
Ooh, Christmas wreath. I like that. Well, I'm drinking an espresso martini in a Mrs. Claus mug. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am. So, cheers before we get started.
cheers.
All right, so let's get into the movie of the week this week. We're reviewing 12 Bays of Christmas, y'all.
Yes, 12 Baes of Christmas. And yeah, it was 12, y'all. It was 12.
All right, so let's get into 12 Days of Christmas. Do you mind doing the synopsis and everything for us? Tell us a little bit about 12 Days.
Okay, the synopsis. The name of the movie, of course, is 12 Days of Christmas. It actually came out last year around this time in 2024. But goody. Basically the movie is about it's a young lady. She is in a relationship with her college sweetheart. They have a podcast together. They are the poster child, the face of Black love, Black excellence, relationship goals, all that good stuff. On camera, on the podcast, they just seem like they're picture perfect. Then come to find out, he is being unfaithful.
Mm,
That he was being unfaithful or whatever.
mm.
Now she's heartbroken and all that good stuff because in her mind this was her forever.
I said, so tell us real quick who all is in the movie, who's directed it.
Okay, well the writer is the Nina Stacks. The director is also Miss Nina Stacks. Also, the producers are like individuals that is associated with a company called Expressions Entertainment, and the lead character in the movie is a Vanessa. She's actually also, a lot of people might know her from another show or podcast she does on Facebook that is called the Roundtable Game Show. So she started with Mikhail Lapreed. He's a new one on the scene, and then Mariana Novez. I'm
Okay.
not sure correctly, but yeah,
Everybody catch 12 Days of Christmas. Where can we watch?
is on the one and only Tubi.
So I'm going to go down the list of our chocolate ratings, and then we're going to go into how we are going to rate y'all 12 Bays. I call it 12 Bays, but 12 Bays of Christmas. All right,
Okay.
so the the top tier rating, right, is hot chocolate. That means it's in the Christmas rotation every year. It's got to be played. You'll recommend this to any and everybody, right? And then the next tier down, we have sweet chocolate. That means that it was a good movie. It had a few hangups, but it's still, a good movie and you could still put it on, during Christmas.
Mhm.
And then we have semi-sweet, right? So this one it's a so-so film. I would still recommend it. I don't think anybody would be upset, but it's a so-so watch. And then we have bitter, right? Bitter is skip it all together. This is not a good movie. I'm not recommending this to anybody, right? All right. So now that we've gone down the list of our chocolate ratings, how would you rate 12 Bays?
Me personally, I would give it in my suite. Um, it was a good movie. It was definitely a good, definitely on a lot of ends, relatable and everything. But would I spin the block on it? I don't know if I would spin the block. If I would spin the block on it, but it's definitely a good movie. I wouldn't say it's a good movie for like you to watch with your bae, but it's definitely a good chick flick. Is that you your girls, you having a holiday party or whatever, it's definitely a good chick flick. So yeah, I would definitely give it a semi-sweet. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's definitely semi-sweet. Like you said, I would not watch this with my bae. This is a movie, of course, that you watch with the girls. Also, for you all that have not seen 12 Days of Christmas, how our podcast goes is first we go into preliminary questions without spoiling the movie, right? So we kind of give you our chocolate rating, if we think you should watch it or not, and then we kind of state like how the acting and everything is with through some preliminary questions, and then we will tell you guys we are going into the juice part of our segment today. This is where we are going to squeeze y'all these tomatoes dry, and we're going to tell y'all everything y'all need to know about this movie. Um, at this point, when we go into the juice part of our segment, if you have not seen 12 Days of Christmas, you're going to want to log off, go watch the movie, and then come back to our review, finish watching it, and then tell us whether or not you agree with how we have did a deep dive into this movie, right? So we will let you know, of course, this is the juice part. If you have not seen 12 Days of Christmas, you need to log off now, go watch it, and then come back and finish the review because we do not want to spoil it for you all, right? All right, so let's get into some of these preliminary questions. All right,
Okay.
cousin Kim. So
Okay.
how was the acting in this movie for you between the two lead characters?
I will say the act with I've never seen either actor or actress in a movie. First time seeing it, and I would say for my first time seeing them in it was pretty good. It wasn't. It was very thick. Everybody was on cue. It didn't look like anybody was trying to or anything in their head. So I would say it was very top tier. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say for this is my first time, like you said, seeing a lot of these actors and actresses, and I felt like they did really good for their first time. You know, I don't know how long they've been in the game, maybe they've been behind the scenes a little bit, but I felt like pretty much the main part of the cast did really well with acting. Who was the standout actor to you?
Um, Definitely the lead actress, which was Miss Damaris. She definitely was the star of the girl of the film. Um, Stood out to me, and she did a really good job. I got to give it. Shout out to Vanessa because she did a really good job. So yeah, of course, with her being a lead actress, she pretty much she led the way in the film.
Yeah, definitely. I will say for me, one person that really stood out acting wise to me, and this is kind of a shock, but Jabari. Jabari
Okay,
stood out with his acting for me in the movie.
okay, yeah,
Um, like I said, that's not to take away from the main character. Like I said, everybody in this movie really did really good in the movie.
yeah.
But for him, his acting really stood out. For me, I could really see him being in a bigger budget film. What about the chemistry between the actors? I know we said that everybody did a great job, but like, how was the chemistry? Was anybody was the main character any better with one person than the other when it came to on screen time?
Honestly, to me, no. Like every scene she was in, everyone she interacted with in the film, I was so she's so top pick for who left the most impression on me as far as the best actress. It was definitely her, and not just the lead actress. She was just good, But yeah, she definitely every scene that she in, yeah, I feel like she had the right level of chemistry with everyone. When she needed to, take it up a notch, she did. When she needed to kind of keep it, here in the center, cool, calm, and collected, she did. So I feel like she did a really good in every scene as far as her chemistry.
What do you think about the pace of the movie?
Me
Felt
personally,
at
I
any time did you feel like it was dragging? Did you feel like everything pretty much happened when it was supposed to? Was anything out of place?
I would just say, me personally, I feel the first like 5-10 minutes, you
Mhm.
knew exactly what this storyline was going to be about, and me,
Mhm.
I like that. I drag or whatever, like because I'll get bored, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. But when I tell you, like, they really jump right into the of the movie or whatever, and they put
Yeah.
exactly what the movie's going to be about and everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
like within the first 5-10 minutes, like you knew what the movie was going to be
What the
about.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it all for me.
Now, I will say one thing I do like about this movie is the concept of the movie is really unique.
Yeah,
But I will say, predictability wise, you kind of already saw where the story was going, right?
yeah.
That's probably my only hang up is that the movie is pretty predictable. But I
It,
mean, it's a Christmas film. A lot of Christmas movies are going to be predictable. But
yeah,
I do appreciate the uniqueness of, the movie. Subject matter, of course, of the movie is very unique for a Christmas film.
Days of Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas. The
Yeah.
it did, yeah.
What did you like about the movie?
Um, what I like about the movie, I like the fact that it showed parts of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
the real relatable ups and downs of relationships and how
Mm-hmm.
hated relationships can be, and how at times relationship how one-sided it can be, like, and um the lead characters retrospect, she thought they were on one path, and clearly, he wasn't. So yeah, that's one thing that I like about the movie, and I feel like that is what's going to draw viewers to the
Mm-hmm.
movie because it is relatable. It's so relatable because a lot of men and women have dealt with that in relationships.
What did you not like about the movie?
The complete opposite of what I just said. It was very realistic and logical, and some parts
Mhm.
are very unrealistic. It wasn't
Yes.
good at
With
all.
that, do you think that they told the story that they were trying to tell?
Yeah, I think they did, but I don't think they put it in the order that it should have.
Look, put a pin in that because we're gonna talk about that in the juice
Yeah,
part.
I think they had all the right parts and pieces to the,
Uh-huh.
but it just wasn't in order. Yeah.
Was in order. I like that. Look, we're gonna revisit that later on in this segment.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So those are our preliminary questions. Hopefully, this will help you decide whether or not you want to dive into the 12 Days of Christmas and watch it because so far we think you should, right? Get your girlfriends together. Y'all talk about the movie and then bring your girlfriends back. Y'all come back and watch our segment here. Comment below. Let us know what you think, what your thoughts are about the movie, because we would love to know what you think. All right, y'all. So we're going into the juice part. Are you ready, Kim?
Look, I'm for the Jews.
Hey! Again, go ahead, log off, because we are about to spoil this movie if you have not seen it. Do you think that it was weird that Khalil put his arm around Simone when um, the accomplished man or the accomplished retired football player was sitting beside him?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
For the movie, it was weird, but at the same time, if we, like I said, if we want to speak on logic or whatever, as though if this was real life, you know,
Mhm.
a woman,
Mhm.
I would think that most women would find that sort of dominance attractive.
Yeah.
Because this is how I took it. He
Mhm.
pretty much making it known, like, I don't care who's sitting here, I don't care, that, like, I'm into you. He didn't care who was how much this money this man had, how successful he was, this and that. He was being a man's man in his own right, and making it known that, yeah, like, I'm feeling Simone, like, I'm feeling her. So I mean, and that could some women, to most women, be attractive, like, okay, okay, I see you. So
Yeah, I see you.
far as the movie,
Uh-huh.
again, things not being in order, it was
Mhm.
weird. I feel like they should have gave a little more history first.
You talking about with the couple, with Khalil and
Yeah,
Simone, should have gave more background?
yeah, yeah.
You know what? They kind of shoehorned it in there, right? Like, oh, we're college, sweethearts, and
Yeah,
kind of just threw the history thing, out the window. I felt like they really didn't give you enough time to kind of warm up to them as a couple first.
yeah. It was really like this is the couple been since college, and boom, he was for the streets, and yeah, and that's it. How long has it been? They've been in college. How long have they been dating since college? Have they had the talk about being each other's forever? I feel like Simone had it in her mind.
Yeah,
Like where were they at exactly in their relationship? We know they were college sweethearts. They had a podcast together, and they were the face of. But like outside of all the surface stuff, where were they in their relationship collectively?
let's talk about the elephant in the room, right?
Oh, honey, elephant. It's a big elephant.
All right, so there has always been, okay, so for my single gals out there, we married gals about to put you on game, right? I don't know if you've seen the rings. We about to put y'all on game, right? So the elephant in the room is you always want to look at marrying a guy that likes you just a little bit more. Not much now, not a big gap now. We're not saying lower your standards, none of that stuff, but just a little bit more. You want to marry a guy that likes you just a little bit more than you like him, right? So
Little
about that elephant in the room. You could tell from jump that Simone liked Khalil way more than he liked her.
way more into him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, Personally, in my opinion, what you all heard about, that has happened most of the time. I don't know if everybody watch reality TV or whatever, but any type of seems to be screen time. When it comes to couples, it's for the most part, it's not a good thing for the relationship. I feel like, according to the, once they got the podcast
Mm-hmm.
and still being this, this guy in his life or whatever, I know more and more interested in him, and he was quote unquote starting to really, really feel himself.
Yes.
Yeah, because he got all these women, throwing themselves at him pretty much, so I assume, so I think, yeah, I think that was the biggest like thorn in the relationship was the
Yeah.
podcast, ironically.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about that elephant in the room because I mean, you just noticed that from jump, right? I mean, they just made that super obvious.
Yeah, she was really, really into him, and I didn't see a lot of the physical affection, even down looked at him. I didn't see that being reciprocated to her.
Yeah,
You know, like like a little, and I was like, whoa, like,
yeah, it wasn't equal, you know.
like Simone, girl, you ain't catch this. But okay, girl, go off.
I know. In the movie, they kind of cut. I think did you think it was kind of weird that they cut to the blogger? The I guess her competition, shall I say, Jazzy on Go. Do you
Yeah,
think it was weird how they kind of cut to her? Because it's like, why do we care about what she thinks?
I feel like they didn't give her a proper introduction. They didn't. I don't feel like they ushered her into the movie correctly.
Yes.
That should have kind of been more on the front. Like showing the whole ass thing first, then the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's kind of like and it probably would like kind of leave viewers like, okay, well, honestly, I was like, okay, well, who is she? But then
That's what I was thinking.
I realized, oh, okay, that's her competition. Yeah,
Yeah, and I felt like they didn't necessarily have to show her in the beginning, but they could have said like, "Oh, we're competing with the Jazzy on Gold girl." That way, when she does pop up, you know who she is. You know what I'm saying? They could have showed like a picture, maybe or
yeah,
something, but just the way they kind of shoehorned her in there, like you said, he was kind of confused for a second. Like, who is this? Why do we care about what she thinks?
yeah.
We'll say this is interesting what she said because they brought this up at several points in the movie. But I just wanted to ask you,
Mhm.
why do black women feel like white men will treat us better?
Well, if you look at the history and the track record and statistics, I mean, and the media, the media is the base of marriage as far as, a couple, white couple or whatever. The
Mhm.
husband, big, CEO, he
Mhm.
makes all this money and this and that, and the wife, normally white, she is, this fabulous, gorgeous, dressed to the nine, pickleball and having cocktails and luncheons with her friends while their kids school or summer camp or this and that. So like what we like the trend now for us as Black women, you know,
Mhm.
that we know of, the saying the soft line.
Mhm.
A white woman has been, was the very first face of the soft life.
Yeah.
So, and a soft life is what? When your man, your bae, your boo, affords you the opportunity to get in your femininity and be so, and that's where we first learned about that was
Mhm.
a white couple, and we
Mhm.
saw her. So I feel that still has kind of stuck with not all
Mhm.
but most, Black women, thinking that, okay, if I want a soft life, I have to
Yeah,
have,
with a white man.
yeah, a white man. Or, I don't know if y'all heard the saying, hard wig, soft life. Reason, the stereotype, white men love but Black women with a hard wig or whatever. So, yeah, but so a lot of Black women in Black culture, not all, but a lot, equate a soft life to having a white husband.
I want to pose that question to the audience, right? So
Mhm.
let us know, sound off in the comments below. Why do Black women feel like white men will afford them the soft life over a Black man?
We're not all, but
Mhm.
some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course, not all, but I mean, just when you think about the soft life, automatically, when they think of a white man, oh, I'm gonna be taken care of, yada yada yada.
Good question.
Uh,
And I'm very interested in hearing about this.
point this out real quick. I was laughing when she told his behind up with that popcorn. When she threw the popcorn at him, when she found out he cheated, that was funny. Woo. And then they rolled. They went right into the credits. That was funny.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Um, I did want to ask this. Why does it seem like picture perfect relationships are doomed to start when they start to get notoriety, right?
So I feel like because there are, especially, there are so many single Black women, and I feel is two sides of that spectrum. The Black women that are in relationships or whatever, they know this, and that, it's a lot of single Black women out here, and like they say, honey, rough out there in them streets.
Yeah.
Dating pool is not. It ain't that. It ain't it.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so a lot of women, not all, again, not all, but a
Mhm.
lot that are in relationships, whether it's your husband, whether it's your boo, your bae, or whatever, have this fear of, I guess, like, girl, I ain't finna, I'm not gonna have her around my man, or I ain't gonna tell nobody about, how good my man is, because I don't want
Yeah.
nobody trying to, my man. And then
Mhm.
the opposite side of that, again, not all, but some women, single women, because
Mhm.
it is so, out here in these streets, they're
Mhm.
looking like, look, if I could just that, if I could just have a piece of that, yeah, I know he has a girlfriend or whatever, or a wife, or some even a wife, but if I could just have a piece of that,
'Cause
security.
that's what they see.
Yes,
Hmm.
a lot of couples
Hmm.
are, they think twice about being public and going public. Yeah.
Yeah. So Benny and Portia, those are her best friends in the movie, right? They give her the green light and the advice to get out and date, go through the ho 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 phase, right?
Ho, ho, ho phase. Okay.
So what do we think about that? Is it okay to greenlight your friend to go through the ho 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 phase?
Um, Me, I think it depends on the friend.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the friend. If, like, my opinion with Simone, from the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
the, I felt like she was a relationship girl. I
Yeah.
felt was, like this is my guy, this is my one and only. I didn't get the vibe of, she for the streets. You know what I'm saying? Or once upon a and now, she didn't got with her babe, so on that or whatever. So, but I just the vibe I got from and the energy I got from Simone's character, from the very beginning was she was a relationship girl. So if she was my friend and I knew that and I knew that she wanted to be, it seemed like she wanted to be married. She wanted her forever. If I knew about her, I wouldn't have encouraged her to go ahead and go like, girl, no face. But I know, like, girl, like, yeah, my friend, she was ready to sit down, but girl, back in the day though. I knew my girl, hey, when she
Well,
walked in, all paused, okay?
let me ask you this. If you know that she's a relationship girly, and let's just say you're her best friend, how would you get her through a bad breakup like that?
Basically, I would just tell her to really, really take time to process everything that I would let her know that, you know, there was nothing, because I feel like a lot of women take, when they're in relationships and their significant other cheats. If a man wants to be there, he'll be there. If he want to go cheat, he's gonna go cheat. It's nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? So I would let her know to, try to reassure her of that. And
Well, let me ask you this.
mm,
Um, time, right? We know time heals all wounds. So how would you profess that she? Because really, that's why they made the suggestion, right?
mm,
Because they want her to pass the time in order to get over her feelings for him after a
mm.
while. So how would you propose that she passes the time then if you don't want her to, or if you wouldn't give her the advice to go through that phase?
I would advise us just to really, instead of going through a whole phase, go through a you phase. You
Hmm.
know, like really, really focus on her and focus on her own energy. Focus on goals that probably wanted to do or wanted to explore when she was in a relationship, but because she was being considerate of him, she, no, he don't want to do it. He doesn't like to do it. Blah blah blah. Yeah, tell her to really, really just focus on her and focus on upgrading herself. You know what I'm saying? Really, really, you know, getting, and not to say that she wasn't before, but getting herself in a place where she knows she's this high value woman, and
And
just
I pose those questions because we might have, some viewers that are currently going through a bad breakup,
yeah,
so they're
yeah.
trying to think of ways of how do I get over this person if I don't want to go through that phase. So I was just, you know, posing the question to see if, we could come up with any suggestions for them on how to pass the time.
Yeah. But like I said, work on you. Work on you. Try new workout routines. If you don't work out, start working out. Maybe you want to start your own podcast. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you wanted to do more self care. You know
Or
what
do my favorite thing, go on a trip.
I'm saying? Go vacation, travel more. I
Mhm.
love travel, and honestly, that's the best way to pass the time.
That really is. Look,
Yeah,
you want to get over a breakup? Change that scenery, girl.
yes, yes. Vacation. Who's thinking about whatever troubles or whatever on vacation? Girl, book out. Put on the right type of belt. That okay.
That travel belt, okay? Go take you some excursions, get you some massages. After a while, you're gonna be like, "What man?
Yeah.
Anybody get you a new man on vacation?" So let's talk about the next thing up on the topic list. Let's talk about African Bay. That's the first Bay.
Okay.
Or you know what? Wait a minute. Before we talk about him, right? They
Mm,
said 12 bays, and I counted. She only dated 11. So is Khalil supposed to be the 12th bay?
I think so.
Okay.
The 12th.
Okay.
Look, they saved the best for last.
Mm,
The 12th.
mm.
Yeah, because it's Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. Oh my gosh, everything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I feel like they saved him for the last for the
Well,
12th.
Jabari, I know he was the last one, but I'm saying
Oh, no,
the ex Khalil.
yeah, I'm sorry. I got look. I'm
It's okay.
a lot of days. Okay.
It is a lot of bays to keep track of.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, okay, so now that we've discussed the 12 bays, right? Let's talk about the first one, African Bay. How she
Okay.
picked that one up? Because I'm like, what was wrong with him?
Um, I think by I I think at the time that she met African Bay, she was still hurting. So
Hmm.
not him. It was nothing wrong with him. She was not ready.
No.
Not only she wasn't ready, this was foreign to her. She's never done this. She
Mm.
don't know how, as they say, the game goes. She don't know how, all this go. How is she supposed to be? How is she supposed to conduct herself? How is she supposed to act? So I think she was kind of like a fish out of water in the beginning. But honey, she quickly caught her footing because
Mm.
her home was like a doggone reindeer, honey. She hopping from one.
Here's a cute look. Why you taking them off? Leave them on.
The reindeer, honey. She hopped from roof to roof to roof. Okay. Okay.
Now let's talk about Jim Bay. Girl, Jim Bay. I
Jim.
felt like that situation was really unrealistic in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That. Yeah.
I mean, how many? I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I just feel like that was really far fetched and unrealistic. Like they could have come up with a different way for them to separate, in my opinion. That was just really,
Yeah.
really
It.
unrealistic. I'll put it. How do you feel?
But I'm honestly, from what I know of, but when you're going through your protocol whole phase, I mean, ain't it kind of like that? Okay, have fun. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. So I don't know. I think it was unrealistic. I don't know.
Well,
And
he
I
was
know
looking at
probably,
himself in the mirror. He was looking at himself.
yeah, that's exactly. He was definitely self-absorbed. He was
Mhm.
definitely he one in the relationship or whatever that was. Yeah. But I don't know why, but I also kind of got a vibe of it was almost like a fetish for him.
Mm.
And like him, like, oh my gosh, what I fantasize about, what I finally got this or whatever. So yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what? Though? I
got that.
wish that they would have done something. Like I said, to me, him looking at himself in the mirror was a little unrealistic. Like,
Yes.
like him, I guess, zoning out, and it's just himself, doing
Yeah.
that with himself. I feel like that was unrealistic. They should have maybe made him have a foot fetish. We got a lot of bays to get through, right? so
Right.
let's talk about the next bay, right? All right, so Prison Bay.
Mm.
Girl, Prison Bay. He is exactly what I thought was going to happen. That was really funny. And
What do you think?
they I felt like they hit the target with that one. What do you think?
Um, yeah, I feel like they hit the target. Yeah. I do. I feel like they hit the target. It was I don't know. It was the whole thing for me, like I said, it was just like the fact that he was, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay. Not
I,
wrong with it because can come out and be reformed and this and that, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I still felt like something was a little off.
but I mean, where did she think that was going to go? Prison? Come on now. Where did she think that was going to go? She didn't ask any questions. Like, I think she did, but like by the time she asked the questions, they had already been together. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's just like, why didn't you start off with that beforehand? I don't
yeah.
know.
And like all the parts were there, but they just wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like she put the cart before the horse, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Simone did state something in the movie where she said that is love a myth to distract you from your true purpose?
Mm.
Can you do both? Can you be in love and still be after your true purpose?
Oh, absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you fulfill your purpose more, even better when you're in love, because when
Mm-hmm.
you're in love and you're walking in your purpose, now you have a strong support you in your purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, they always have the question, women, can you have it all? Yes.
Yes, you can.
I don't even know why. Yes, you can.
Now it's
Never.
not easy balancing it all, but yes.
It's like,
I don't know if the best friend Bari is shy, but why did she push to replace Khalil on the show with Jabari? Like they just needed a male presence because remember all of the sponsors and everybody wanted to pull out because it was no longer like a black love show.
yeah,
Like I felt like she could have replaced Khalil. I mean, with Jabari
Mm-hmm.
instead of, you know what I'm saying? It just seemed like they just wanted a male voice, and I felt like Khalil wasn't necessarily needed. They just needed a male voice. So, do you feel like she should have advocated maybe, or Jabari should have spoke up and said, "Hey, I'll take Khalil's place on the podcast"?
Um, I think. First question. I think they push for that because that was the foundation of the show, of the
Mhm.
podcast. This is how they built their audience, their viewers. They're used to seeing, they love a couple and this and that, this and that. I think she should have advocated more. Yeah, but at the same time, I understand why, and like even with Jabari, why he really wasn't pushing, because that was another man's slot.
Yeah,
Like I'm Jabari with him, right? I don't want to go behind him and feel his shoes. I got my own shoes. I can see, from the male, I can see him saying, "No, I'm good on that."
talk about the next bae, old man,
The who?
old man. They didn't spend too much time on that, which I do like. I like how they
Yeah,
introduced it and glossed over it. That was very realistic to me because you always got some old man in the rafters peeking and and looking right.
they didn't spend too much time on the old man, honey, because the old man ain't gonna last that long anyway. Okay.
So silly. All right, so let's talk about the next bay. Bay number, in this case, bay number 6, Army Man. Why they play Army Man like that?
What you mean? Why they play him like that? What's
Like
that?
he got PTSD. She couldn't even walk down the street, with him because he ducking at every little sound. I mean, they could have did it a little bit better than that. You know what I'm saying?
They went real stereotypical on that.
Yeah.
Not real. Yeah, it was real stereotypical. That. I don't know why they chose to do that. I guess they wanted to try to be relatable. He's an army man. PTSD, shell shot, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
But I don't. I think they kind of went a little overboard with that. I don't think that
Yeah.
that would be the case per se. From what I know of military.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have gone back to the drawing board on the Army Man and kind of given him something else besides PTSD. That's so, like you said, it's so stereotypical. You know what I'm saying?
man, they should have gave him more of like a knight in shining armor, a protector, a provider. You know what I'm saying? More like that. Like he's this big strong army man, like girl, like got you, that this, that. But kind of a little overbearing as well. Yeah.
I was gonna say they should have just made him overbearing.
Yeah.
Like when they got to the restaurant, he was ordering everything for her that not giving her a chance to order or something. I felt like that would have come off better than just the PTSD.
And that was it. Like that was
Yeah,
his
that was it. Scamming Bay.
which
They
one?
scamming Bay.
Next.
Next,
Who wants to be bothered with a scammer?
okay.
I would have deuces out of here.
I thought that was funny. The scamming Bay thing was funny.
Yeah.
Let's talk about number 7, New Bay. Girl, New Bay.
That I don't know. New Bay was honestly, I feel like that was probably a little more of her speed.
It New Bay. They knew not to show him before they mentioned him because as soon as I
Uh-huh.
see him, I said, "Oh, that man gay." I said, "Ooh, he
You thought it was
yes." I knew automatically. I said he's gay. So this is my thing. This is number 2 now. This is number 2. Where is her gaydar? I guess it's non-existent, right?
yeah. Yeah.
And
It is not I feel like it was more of her speed as far as his look. Because he was said similar build and all that, what's the Khalil?
Khalil. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's why when I first saw him, I was like, okay, that's more her speed. But as it went on and he was go by, I was like, okay, yep, red flag. Yeah.
Yeah, deuces.
Yeah.
Nah, I knew from the moment I seen him, I said, okay, I see where they're headed at with this one.
I ain't gonna lie. That went right over my head.
I knew immediately. And then when they sat I don't know, was that supposed to be his friends or his family? The two people that sat across from them when they met up for.
I think I think it was friends.
I'm not sure if it was friends or if it was family, but I knew the guy he was sitting across from. I said, "Oh yeah, they in cahoots together."
Yeah,
And then when they revealed that he went both ways, I was like, "Okay,
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense."
I didn't say that I was gay. I'm not gay. I'm bi. Boy, same thing.
But what's crazy is this movie takes place in Atlanta, right?
Yes,
So I felt like that scene was very realistic in the sense that you do get that a lot out here. You do hear the horror stories where women are looking for these heterosexual males and they end up coming across these men that go both ways.
that's
So
good to have a conversation, ladies.
it is. And
Question.
have that gaydar handy. You got to read the
Yeah,
you got to be on your P's and Q's, read the signs, and everything. So, like I said, it's nothing against gay people at all. It's
absolutely.
just
The what LGBT, honey, love who you love. Love is love. All that.
exactly.
But everybody has the right to choose.
Everybody has the right to choose. She
Right to choose.
exactly. And she wanted a heterosexual male, and that's what she was expecting to get.
Yeah.
And
A monogamous forever relationship. Yeah.
exactly. So I just thought that was interesting that they had brought that up with the movie setting place in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because I know we were talking about how a lot of the situations are unrealistic, or some of them are realistic, but I really felt like this one, is probably going to hit home for a lot of people, especially a lot of women in Atlanta. Jabari, I feel like he was foul for telling Khalil that she was on the dating app, going through.
Yeah, he was. That I was gonna try to dress it up, but yeah, he was. But I feel like too he was in a intimidated
Mhm,
because not so much because of who he was, but because of the history that they had,
mhm,
phone had or whatever, and he was just
mhm,
pretty much make sure like nah, you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't trying to
mhm.
get back because he wanted her for himself.
Yeah,
So that's how I took it anyway. But yeah,
I
that
that
was
kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was kind of rooting for him initially, and then once because he didn't have to say anything, and
he
once
did.
he said that, I was just like, why would he out her like that, especially if he plans on, getting with her later on? That was just kind of
Yeah,
like he lost his cool points, shall I say, with me when he did that.
because he was the cool, kawaii, mysterious type. Yeah, yeah.
He was. I ain't gonna lie though. One thing about this movie, the songs, as I call them, the ratchet bops,
Right,
they was hidden. They was hidden, wasn't they?
right.
The songs, y'all, are pretty good in this movie. I actually enjoyed.
Music on 12 Days of Christmas.
Okay, okay. So whoever was over the music, shout out to you. And let us
And
know, y'all, what do y'all think about the music in this movie? Let us know down below in the comments. This is going back to African Bay because they did give us one other scene with African Bay. Men hate that phone, don't they? If it's not them texting you, ooh, when the notifications go off, they hate that phone. Especially if it keep going off. Who is that?
oh, it's the one. Oh, you blowing up over there, ain't you?
Exactly. Exactly. So I thought that was funny and really relatable.
It is. It's related because it shows that guess what? Men be watching too. They watching it and they concerned what's going on too. It ain't just
But
women.
the crazy thing though is he knew exactly what the notifications were.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. It was just funny to me that he knew exactly what the.
Nosy is women. They
Mhm,
nosy. Mm.
mhm. I will say at this point, I said, "Oh, Simone is messing up. African Bay not about to last." You know. We have anything else to say about African Bay before we close the chapter on him or close the book on him?
No, I just feel like African Bay. I feel like out of all of them, he
Mhm.
was in
Yeah.
outside. I feel like yeah, he was the one that had like a more realistic interest in her
Hmm.
than, like I said, outside of Jabari, than all of the other guys. We'll say that, yeah.
But you know what's crazy, Kim? And I'm gonna say this before I close the the book on him.
Okay.
Actually, once Jabari revealed to Khalil that she was on that dating app, oh, I immediately wanted her to be with African Bay. I don't
Hey,
know what he did for a living, but it seemed like he had everything together.
I,
Sister about to live a good life with African Bay, you know? And
yeah.
I feel like, in my opinion, that's who she should have ended up with.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as how they scripted and wrote it on the show, that's exactly what I think should have happened. But if we look
Mhm.
at it, like they say, realistically in real life, you
Mhm.
the relationship that works out the best or the most is when you start out as friends.
As friends, yeah.
And her, so,
Yeah. I don't know.
and I, yeah,
They just really messed up with me on that scene.
they made that connection.
Yeah.
You know, they made for as far as the realistic effect of it. They
But
started
you
out.
know what, though? Yeah, I was gonna say, but her and African Bay, I mean, I don't know. They don't really give you. That's the only thing I don't like about this movie. They don't really give you like a timestamp on like how long she was dating some of these guys. Because African Bay to me kind of lasted a long time compared to some of the other bays. Him
Yeah,
and Thug Bay were kind of like her longer
yeah, her,
relationship. I will say that her and African Bay, remember it took her, she said it took her a while before she didn't want to ruin anything because she knew it was a good thing. So
yeah,
remember, they were friends for a long time before she decided to take that extra step with him. So that's why I was like, well, there was potential there for her to end up, with him. But you could just tell that um, he was way into her more than she was into him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said in the beginning, that's a good thing, though. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. And that's why I said I really felt like had she gotten her stuff together, I
Yeah,
really felt like he was a better candidate for her than Jabari.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
they, yeah,
Jabari
yeah.
still kind of seemed like he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. You know, he just kind of being strung along with her podcast. Because remember, he was still in school and things like that. So, uh, oh,
He was still in the. He knew he wanted her, but
mhm.
he wasn't in the stage of, you know, he was able at the very moment to offer her that level of security.
That
But
left
he was on the path to figuring it
to figure it out. Talk about the next bay, shall we? Thug Bay. This our favorite Bay, ain't it?
out. Bay was just that. They gave him the right name.
They did. They did.
What
They
is
did.
about the
What is it about? Okay, so what is it about the bad boys that are just you can't shake them for women? You know what I'm saying? Why was she so much into Thug Bay versus a good man like African Bay?
because women, we like the excitement and we want to feel like we like the whole butterfly aspect. Like, yeah, this my man. Ain't nobody gonna mess with my man, and if my man, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. You
Is
know,
it okay? So it's the protector aspect of it.
yeah, the
Mhm.
protective aspect of it and the security. Like, I don't care where we go, I'm gonna be good because my man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel, and the excitement that comes along with that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like that's the reason why most women are attracted to that. But I will say it's short lived though.
Yes. As you can see, she was like, "Oh, he toxic." They done got into a
And
shootout and everything.
baby,
Crazy.
look, living up his name, you're like, whoa, yeah.
Okay, Baller Bay.
Well, honey,
Whew.
that's predatory. What woman don't want a baller?
But what he was into though was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the reason why, even though he might be a baller, you know what I'm saying? You got to look past ball and be like, okay, wait a minute, what else you got going on? Yeah,
Exactly.
look, not to get upset, but you know what you sent me? Like all the bays that she dated,
Hmm.
really, each one of them is an aspect of the quote unquote perfect man that women want. We want a man with a want a man that's gonna provide security. We want a man that's gonna be, vulnerable and sincere and care. We want a that that's going to provide financial security. So
Mhm.
I just got that. I see what they did with 12. Okay, okay, okay. Okay.
You're so silly. Let me finish unpacking Baller Bay real quick, right? So his situation. No wonder why. Okay, so him and Khalil seemed a little too comfortable in the beginning in that first scene. And
Mm-hmm.
remember, Khalil was at that same night. I don't know if it's a nightclub. I don't know what they considered that, but he was in the same building as
Mm-hmm.
Baller Bay, doing you know all those things, right?
Things, honey, the things.
The
Yeah.
things that he was doing. I mean, that was nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, that was it was wild, but unfortunately, it can be real. It can be real.
That was realistic, you know?
That's another question we can ask the audience. Like, drop it in the chat. Like, what's the craziest thing you've had to deal with in relationship? Relationship. Like, what's the wildest, craziest thing? Because a lot of people feel like it's only for TV or it's just happened on TV. But no, these are real. Girl, these are
These
some
are real situations.
situations. So drop it in the chat, ladies. Let's
Go on and drop it.
tea. Pour that tea. Like, what? Well,
So,
no names.
I know, right? So, this is the next thing, right? New Bay comes back around with the crazy stuff.
Spin the block.
He comes back around with the crazy stuff, right? Oh my gosh. Like, that was nuts. Like, she clearly said that she wasn't into you like that, and all of a sudden you mad now because you done been found out and you trying to call her out and everything else. That was nuts, the New Bay situation.
He gave me baby mama.
I
He gave,
was not.
he gave me all of that, and that's a red flag when you ladies when you get that that trait or you said yeah leave yeah she did right leave. He was just bitter.
He was.
Yeah,
And and crazy. And I felt like that was a realistic situation as well. I like how they did, put that part in there as well. But this is my thing. This is number two of guys that go both ways. I'm hoping that she that she protected herself.
girl, because the way she was roof hopping and topping, okay, like girl, Simone, protect yourself, and that's
Mhm.
the thing that they didn't say in the movie, or make no. Okay, like if she's a protectionist, this and that. Of course,
Mhm.
we the actual act, but they could have alluded to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Definitely could have alluded because you definitely need to protect yourself.
We'll talk about Bay number 11, White Bay. Girl, isn't that crazy what happened with him?
Girl, my, this is the white guy, right?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. Some women may think, when they know white guy it's a fetish thing or whatever. And not just for the white man, it could be for the black woman as well. It's a
Mhm.
fetish, or it's an opportunity thing, or it's a come up thing.
Mhm.
It's a trophy, he has the trophy, black girl on his arm. I got the, trophy rich white man.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's but I say to each his own, you know.
I will say what happened to him was totally unexpected and was funny. And again, going back to the realistic, unrealistic thing, I felt like that's something that you definitely see, in the news. As soon as I saw him on the news, I would have got my stuff together, but I'm taking that breakfast with me. Like Denzel say, I'm leaving here with something.
Something, okay? Even something, right?
Before we end this, I have a couple more questions to ask. So at the end of the movie, of course, we realize that they both have feelings for each other, and they've had her and Jabari have had these feelings for each other all along, right? Why do men feel like they can't say how they truly feel to women? I mean, I know nerves and things like that, but like the Bible says, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. You can't find a wife if you keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? You got to speak up.
I don't get okay.
Hmm.
It does not. I think it's just all about Um, Men are very scared of rejection, especially when they
Mhm.
and told this woman how I feel. Also, men don't like to be vulnerable because once again, there's the fear of, will I be rejected? Will this be received? What does she think of me? What is about what I say? So I feel like men get in their head too much when
Yeah.
it comes to stuff like that, and just say it. Yeah, like just tell her. Yeah.
If she's into you, then y'all can start dating. If she's not, then you can stop wasting the fantasy land time on her and move on to the next woman.
Like you and I.
Men out there, if you're watching this, go on and shoot your shot if you holding back from another. She say no and you move on to someone else. Or you say yes
Yes,
and you've saved yourself years, because I think he said they were friends for like 13 years or something like that. You saved yourself years of being in the friend zone, not
yes.
knowing, you know? Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed our segment today. Join us again next week. Next week, y'all. Make sure to post the next movie that we plan on reviewing in our next video. All right, y'all. So until next time, this is Chocolate Tomatoes. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.